Hi everyone, my name's Lily. I'm the book reviewer behind Utopia State of Mind, and today I'm going to tell you 5 books that you have to read if you want to get to know me. So basically, this came up. I don't even remember where I heard this from, but I've been asking my friends a lot like, oh, if you had to pick 5 movies that would be emblematic of who you are, which 5 movies would you pick? Obviously, let me know in the comments below. But that's a really hard question, and I thought, I keep asking these questions, but I'm not answering the questions. And also, book wise, what would I pick? So, this is a pile that I thought of for 5 books. Honestly, also, if you asked me like in a week, maybe I'd pick 5 different books. So, this is my pile for this week. I feel pretty good about a lot of the picks. I'm just not exactly sure if, for example, at the end of the year, they'd be the same picks. Who knows? But anyway, here are my 5 picks. So, I don't know if anyone could have predicted any of these. Let me just start off with describing them to you. The first one that I have is the probably oldest book that I have, and maybe just in general. So it's Sabriel by Garth Nix. I read this as a teen. I have a copy of this in every place I've lived. I've gotten a copy mostly because I've forgotten to move them with me because they're never on my current bookshelf or my current TBR shelf, but they're always ones that I've really, really loved. I have the entire trilogy. I have not done a reread of these. I'm not sure if they hold up. But these were one of the first YA fantasy books that I read, this and the Dane series by Tamara Pierce. But these ones have stayed with me in my heart because I think Sabriel as a character was just someone I could really identify with. The fantasy in Sabriel with a little bit of a darker necromancy vibe was more my thing. I really loved the magical animal thing, but I didn't grow up having pets. So I think that was a little bit more of kind of wish fulfillment, whereas Sabriel as a character was one that I felt like I resonated more with. I also love the other ones, the entire trilogy. I've read Clariel. I haven't read some of the other ones, and I haven't read Terstiel and Eleanor, but I want to. So if you want to see me reading those, if you want to see me actually rereading this whole kind of series, let me know down below. That would be so fun, but I'm not going to do it if no one's going to watch it. Sabriel basically is a story of a girl, and she is the daughter of a mage who has these necromantic bells that kind of call souls from the dead or send souls back to the dead. And so basically her father's missing, and she's called upon to kind of figure out, where is my dad? And also kind of, why is he missing? So that's the plot of Sabriel. Anyway, this is my first one that I have to pick, and I thought this one was good because it also has a nostalgia vibe to it. I wanted to pick one nostalgia book. The next one is another one I discovered really early on. It's The Reader. You can see some of my tabs. The Reader is such an underrated fave. Like, it is so underhyped and so criminally underhyped. I think maybe part of the reason why is it's hard to describe without spoiling a lot of it, especially when you get to the actual end. The plot of The Reader, as I said, is kind of difficult to explain. The Reader, so she, what is her name? Sephia is kind of as an outlaw, and also the deal with Sephia society is that nobody can read. Hence the title. No one can read. And so as she's kind of an outlaw, she is living with her aunt, and they're kind of always on the run. When her aunt is kidnapped, she's like kind of hiding, and so she finds this rectangular object that belonged to her dad, and oh my god, it's a book. Obviously, it's playing a lot into The Reader. Perfect for bookworms, if I might add. And so while she's doing that, she's kind of unearthing, what is this? What is reading? What are these things on the pages? What are the secrets? Why does my dad have this? Lots of dad secrets in these 2 books, basically. But that's the series. It feels kind of meta, as you can tell, with like, oh my god, she can read. Also, there are symbols, or like it feels very much like something you should read in physical copy. As the books go on, there will be pieces where like parts of the books that they're discovering or that they discovered kind of are damaged, and so you'll see that here. You'll also see different fun things that I don't want to describe to you right now, but this is so underrated. Please go read it. I loved it so much. It kind of captured to me this feeling of like the power of being a reader and the power of reading. What happens when we as a society move from oral storytelling to storytelling in the word, and how this kind of involves this idea of legacy and changes it, and what would we do, this idea of recordedness, being recorded. The next one is Starfish by Kemi Dawn Bowman. I think this is one of the first books where I think all of these books, you can see that I'm seeing various pieces of myself. This is another book that is incredibly special to me. It's also the first of a Kemi Dawn Bowman, who is going to, at that point, and has become one of my favorite auto-buy authors. This is a book, it's been so long since I read it, so I need to actually reread this one. But she is dealing with her biracial feels. As an adopted person, I haven't really found a lot of stories that are about transracial adoption, but a lot of biracial books have similar feels that I can relate to, of not feeling like you belong in one community or the other one. So I think that's also and definitely a reason why that I love this one. But it also talks about family dynamics and really difficult, complex family dynamics. And it was definitely one of the ones that first started me on this journey. I think so many of Kemi Dawn Bowman's books have really made an important piece, or been really important experiences in my life for a variety of different reasons. So this is the one that has started it all. The next one I want to talk about is the next one I want to talk about is Jade City. Jade City is so loved. My copy is coming apart. I also got signed book plates for Jade City at the Columbus Book Festival. There's a photo of me getting book plates and my copy of Untethered Sky signed, and it's just like out of body experience that was amazing. But Jade City is adult fantasy done so well, and also as a series, because obviously for these books I'm not only thinking about the first book, I'm thinking about the entire series experience. And it's just like a perfect series done right. It's about family, it's about power, ambition, what happens when you have power, when you don't have power, what do we do with power. The whole series kind of zooms out. So this is very much based on the family. The next one's kind of based on the island. The next one's based on like the island and the global politicsy kind of scheme. So in all, it is just such a fabulous story about magical jade wielding gangs. So basically, jade is the magical power. You have a lot of jade, like for example, on your ears as jewelry pieces, for example, and that's how you use jade magic, but it can have a really hard toll on your body as well. Jade is the power on the whole island, and so the Calls are one of the main powerful jade wielding families. In the family, you also have people who have varying levels of jade power, varying levels of responsibility and leadership within the Call clan. And so it's about a new drug that lets anyone, even foreigners who are not the island population, use jade, and how that destabilizes the jade trade within the family, within the island, and how it changes the dynamics completely. Love this. I cried so much reading Jade War, but also so much reading Jade Legacy. So, gotta include it for the tears, basically. And the final one, could I really have a video where I don't preach the Babel? So this is Babel, and I picked the Fox and Wood edition because this is the one I reread. And look at these tabs. Like, you can hear how many tabs I have on this book. And I reread this one. And I even wrote a little guide, right? So I have talks about feminism in blue, talks about translation in green, talks about academia in yellow, racism in orange, quotes I love in pink. Like, it's just littered with my love. I also have a video all about my thoughts on Babel. I will put the link below. Reading Babel was transformative. I adored the Poppy War. The Poppy War was actually one of my first arcs I ever got, and I actually got through a trade. I can't believe you would trade away the Poppy War, but anyway, so reading Babel and not knowing what to expect, but having such high hopes because I adored the Poppy War series, this one just kind of rewrote my DNA. I don't really know how to describe it. I've been really involved in my life with academia, also racism, and so this book was kind of just this perfect critique about academia and sort of what there's this sort of high horse elitedness of academia, and that, and also the ties between colonization and racism and academia and sort of rebellion, all of these things so relevant and also just so beautifully described here. What is the actual plot of Babel. This is the Fox and Wit one, so they also included the standard US edition dust jacket as well. I don't even, how do I describe Babel without spoiling any of Babel? But basically, Robin is the main character. He's brought to London by a professor from Canton as kind of like a student who knows Mandarin, and the world of Babel has translation magic, so it has these pairs of words in languages that can't really be described one to one. They lose something in translation. Loved this idea so much. They lose something in translation, and so you need native speakers to kind of harness the power of what is lost in that space. And so Mandarin is kind of up and coming as a language that they want to exploit, and also the exploitation of these silver bar match pairs, so the match magic that they want to sell to other countries and to exploit that, and also exploit Mandarin to use that. So basically, Robin is brought to help facilitate Babel, the Royal, what is actually the Royal Institute of Translation, also known as Babel, which is Oxford University's translation school. All these people are involved in that. Basically, it's supposed to be kind of this utopia of knowledge without politics is such a bad take, but that's kind of what the people of Babel are like, oh, it's about knowledge, but like, we're profiting off of people's blood, sweat, and tears. So, but anyway, so it's about that, and it's about how he finds himself caught between the Tower of Babel, the institution, what they kind of stand for, and this rebellious society called the Hermes Society. And it just has my entire heart. So anyway, those were the 5 books that you should read if you want to get to know me, maybe my taste, me as a person. I would love to know what your 5 books are. I know, extremely hard question to ask you, but I would love to know. And I hope that I see you in the next one. I'm sorry that this video was late. As you can tell, this bookshelf is different. I'm going to have a bookshelf tour coming up soon, so you can look forward to that. But that is why this video was late, and why, in general, May has been a little bit discombobulated. So I will see you in the next video. I hope you have a really great rest of your reading day, week, month, and year. Bye!